I found out my wife was at a hotel with another man on my birthday, so I sent her a cake. That ended our marriage. Hi, I'm Neil, 30, and on the day, turned 30, while waiting for my wife to come home, I sent a cake to room 304 of a downtown hotel with the note, "Happy birthday to me. Enjoy the divorce." What happened next cracked open everything I thought I knew about my marriage. I'd been looking forward to my 30th birthday like it meant something magical, like, this was the year I feel like a man who actually had his life together. I'd hinted about it for months. Let's do something special, I'd say. She'd smile, nod, change the subject. I thought she was just trying to keep a surprise under wraps. Instead, I woke up alone. No breakfast in bed, no card, just her on the couch, scrolling through her phone like it was any Tuesday. Running late. "Brunch with the girls," she mumbled. "Brunch?" I thought we were back later. She cut me off, kissed the air vaguely, and left. It wasn't just a gut punch. It was like she sucker punched me while I still had the candle lighter in my hand. I sat there in my kitchen, in complete silence, staring at the perfectly normal Tuesday she left behind. Around 11, brother texted, "Big 3-0. What did she get you?" I stared at it for a minute. Couldn't even bring myself to respond. Just watched the three little dots dance and disappear. Around PM. Still no word from her. Out of sheer habit, or maybe desperation, I checked Find My Friends. That damn dot. That stupid dot. She was at a hotel. Downtown. Not a brunch place. Not a spa. A hotel. My stomach dropped like a brick in an elevator shaft. She sent me to voicemail. Twice. Now, I could have gone full drama. Could have marched down there and knocked on every door like a man unhinged. Instead, I called the front desk. "Hi, I know this is weird, but it's my birthday. My wife's staying there. Could I send her a cake to her room?" The woman on the phone? Delighted. "That's so sweet. What's the name?" I gave it. A clickety-clack later. "Room 304. When would you like it delivered?" 30 minutes. Any message? I didn't even hesitate. "Happy birthday to me. Enjoy the divorce." Silence. "Sir, are you sure?" Never been more. I gave her my card details and sat on my couch like it was a battlefield, waiting for the bomb to drop. At 5:43 p.m., phone lit up like a Christmas tree. Call. Declined. Call. Declined again. Then a flood of texts. "What the hell? This isn't funny. Call me right now." But I didn't. I just took screenshots. At 6 o'clock. Some woman I didn't recognize. Called. "You humiliated her in front of everyone." "Everyone?" I asked. Dead silence. "Then you're a psycho." Cool. She could keep her hotel party. I'd keep my lawyer appointment at 9 a.m. The thing about betrayal? It doesn't show up with fireworks. It trickles in. A voicemail here. A text there. A picture in your mind you didn't ask for but can't unsee. At 9 o'clock sharp the next morning, I sat in the walnut-paneled office of Brian Fletcher, divorce attorney at law, who looked like he should have been casting spells at Hogwarts, not arguing over alimony. "So, you sent her a cake," he said, flipping open a yellow legal pad. "With a message." "A message, yeah," he grinned. "You always this efficient when you cut people off?" "Only when they forget my birthday at a hotel." Brian didn't blink. "Good. Because based on what you've told me, she's about to go full scorched earth. We're talking proper retirement, spousal support. You got anything valuable?" I told him about the house, co-owned but 80% paid from my granddad's life insurance. Then the pinball machines. Say that again. I restore vintage pinball machines. Got 6 in the garage, worth about $45,000 total. Brian actually sat forward. "And you bought all these before the marriage?" "Yup. Or with separate funds. Kept every receipt. Cataloged everything." He smiled like I just handed him a gift basket. "That's huge. Document every piece. Photos, serial numbers, restoration logs." Trust me. Later that afternoon, while photographing my 1978 8-ball deluxe, my phone buzzed. "Her mom. How could you humiliate her like that?" "It was just one bad day," I replied once. "She spent my birthday at a hotel. I sent a cake. Now I'm sending divorce papers. Please direct all future contact to her attorney." Blocked. That night, she came home. I was mid-buff on the playfield glass when the door slammed open. She was crying. Not the quiet kind, messy, mascara trails down your cheek crying. You're really doing this? Talk to my lawyer, I said without looking up. Nothing happened. We were just drinking. Someone got a room to chill. Who's someone? Friends. Friends' boyfriends. I finally looked at her. Even if I believe that, which I don't, you still spent my 30th birthday with them, at a hotel, instead of with me. She wiped her face. So that's it? 4 years down the drain? Yup. Then she looked at the pinball machines. Fine. I want half. There it was. You called these garage trash last year. They're worth money now. I supported you while you wasted money on invested in appreciating assets. And I can prove they're mine. You're being vindictive. No, I'm being smart. She softened. Switched tactics. Please, can we try counseling? Nope, I messed up. Can't you forgive? You're already planning to take half my stuff. You really think forgiveness is on the menu? She started crying harder. Where am I supposed to go? Your parents seemed pretty welcoming. I went back to the machine. She stood there for a minute, waiting for me to say something. I didn't. She left. 2 days later, I was in the middle of photographing a replacement bumper cap when I heard her voice again, this time through the door. I've got an attorney. Cool. She served me papers that afternoon. Her demands? Half the house. Half my retirement account. $30K for the pinball machines, because suddenly she's a vintage gaming enthusiast. Spousal support for 3 years. Me to continue paying her car loan, because it's in my name. I handed everything to Brian, who gave a low whistle and said, she came to play. Shame she brought a checkers board to a chess game. We drafted a response. House. Split proceeds, but we note my 80% contribution. Retirement. She's entitled to half earned during marriage only. Pinball. Separate property. Receipts. Dates. Serials, all documented. Spousal support, denied. Short marriage, both employable. Car loan, fight it or transfer it. Then came the kicker. My brother's girlfriend is friends with my wife's coworker, and that coworker spilled everything. The friend's boyfriend's friend from the hotel? Not random. He was her gym buddy, a guy she'd been texting for 6 months, meeting for workouts, drinks after, late night, vent sessions. I confronted her via text. Me. So, friend's boyfriend's friend is actually your gym buddy of 6 months? Her? Who told you that? Me. Does it matter? You gonna revise your story now? Her. We're just friends. Me. Just friends. At a hotel. On my birthday. That you forgot? Her. I didn't forget. Me. Cool. Then where's my party? Silence. That night, her dad called me. Surprisingly calm. Look, I know she messed up. But isn't divorce a bit extreme? With all due respect, sir, I said, she spent my milestone birthday at a hotel with another man. Didn't even text. What would you do? He paused. I'd be pissed. Right. I'm just handling it legally and quietly. He sighed. She says you're trying to take everything. Nope, just what's mine. He didn't push. Honestly, I appreciated that. Meanwhile, I was finally breathing. Sleeping better, eating real meals again, working on my 1980 firepower machine like nothing else existed. There's something about rebuilding something piece by piece that helps you feel like you're not broken yourself. Then came the knock. She stood in the doorway, tears again. No makeup this time. I need to tell you something. Tell me from there. She took a breath. I'm pregnant. Time stopped. Pregnant. 1 word. 2 syllables. And suddenly, my spine felt like it had been swapped out for wet spaghetti. How far along? I asked. My voice didn't even sound like mine. About 2 months. I just found out. 2 months. I did the math. That would place conception right around my birthday. The day she was at the hotel. I looked at her and asked the question she already knew was coming. Mine or his? Her face crumpled like tissue. How can you even ask me that? I didn't even blink. Because you were at a hotel with another man on my birthday. Forgive me for not trusting your calendar. It's yours, she insisted. We were together once that week. Just once? And you've been with him how many times since? I haven't. I haven't been with him at all. The texts say otherwise. She folded her arms across her stomach. Defensive. Shaky. They don't prove anything physical happened. Great. So if it's mine, we'll confirm with a paternity test. If it's not, well, not my problem. You're not even going to consider working this out? For the baby? Not even a little bit, she sniffled. You'd let your child grow up in a broken home? I stared her dead in the eyes. Better than growing up watching their dad get walked on like a welcome mat. She tried again. I made a mistake. Can't you forgive? Nope. Then I closed the door, told Brian the next morning. His reaction? If it's yours, things get messier. Custody, support, long-term co-parenting. But marriage shouldn't be part of that discussion, I agreed. I wasn't going to chain myself to someone just because of biology. And then the real fun began. Her lawyer sent a letter, due to her pregnancy. My client requires the marital home to ensure a stable environment for the baby. We also request full medical coverage and additional settlement support. Brian's response? Paternity test required before any baby-related concessions are discussed. Client willing to negotiate custody and support for his biological child only. They replied with a scathing letter. How dare you question her integrity? Brian didn't miss a beat. Then perhaps she shouldn't have been at a hotel with another man on her husband's birthday. Checkmate. Meanwhile, the house sold. We each cleared about $62,000 after the mortgage. I moved into a decent apartment near work. Spent 2 hours moving the pinball machine, sweating, swearing, and laughing like a lunatic when Gorger fell off its dolly and nearly crushed my foot. That night, I had my first sleep in the new place. Quiet. No drama. Just me. 6 glowing machines. And a Domino's pizza. I slept like the dead. Until 3 weeks later, her lawyer dropped the bombshell. There'd been a miscarriage, and suddenly, everything changed again. The miscarriage, her lawyer's letter called it a deeply personal loss, and said she'd be withdrawing all pregnancy-related claims. No more demands for full control of the house. No more stable environment arguments. Just quiet retreat. Brian looked up from the paper, expression unreadable. Do we believe it? He asked. I shrugged. Honestly, I don't know. It's possible she was never pregnant at all. He nodded. Wouldn't be the first time someone used a baby as leverage in a divorce. We didn't push it. Either she'd lost something real, or she was dealing with her own karma. In both cases, not my job to fix it. I thought that would be the end of the drama. I was wrong. 2 days later, she emailed me. Object. I'm sorry message. I know you hate me. I don't blame you. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry. I should have been honest. I should have remembered your birthday. I should have cared more. I hope someday you can forgive me. I read it twice, then deleted it. No reply. And that was the last direct contact we had. The divorce clock ticked on. Mediation came and went. Her demands finally dropped from outrageous to merely irritating. She agreed to half the house sale proceeds, asked for 35% of my retirement earned during marriage, wanted $8,000 from the pinball machines down from $30K, 1 year of spousal support at $500/month. Me to keep paying her car until the loan ended. Brian and I countered. House split, fine. 35 of retirement, fine. Pinball machines, $0. Documented as separate property. Spousal support, denied. She's employed. Short marriage. She started the breakdown. Car, title, and loan transferred to her name. Her responsibility. The pinball machines were the last hill she seemed willing to die on. She says she tolerated them for years, Brian said, reading the email. That she deserves something for the emotional burden of sharing a garage with blinking lights. My reply? Tolerating your spouse's hobby doesn't entitle you to equity. Brian laughed. Beautiful. We'll use that. Final prep for trial began. Depositions. Financial disclosures. A few tense back and forths. And then? She folded. 3 months in, her lawyer must have sat her down and told her the truth. You're not gonna win this one. She signed the settlement. House proceeds. Split. Retirement. 35% of during marriage contributions. Pinball machines. All mine. Spousal support. Oh, car. Fully transferred to her. Legal fees. Each pays their own. Cost me about $8,500 in attorney fees. Worth every penny. And with that, the war ended. I wasn't happy exactly, but I was free. Freedom hit me in stages. First, the day the judge signed the papers, I got an email with a PDF copy of the finalized divorce decree. No confetti, no soundtrack, just a simple ding from Outlook, and my name officially unlinked from hers. Second, moving the pinball machines into my new place and seeing them lit up in a clean, quiet room. No one calling them junk. No one rolling their eyes. Just me and the machine's gorgery ball. Firepower like old friends waiting for their stories to resume. Third, the first night I didn't check my phone, wondering if she'd text. That was the best sleep I'd had in years. A week later, my brother threw me a small post-divorce, post-hell party. Just 6 guys, beer, pizza, and a Fathom tournament. Halfway through, one of them showed up with his sister, Julia. She walked in wearing a faded Galaga shirt and asked if she could try one of the machines. 5 minutes later, she was cursing like a sailor because she tilted Gorger and swore it was rigged. We ended up talking for 3 hours. Retro arcade stuff, repair shops, even old school soda flavors. Nothing flirtatious, just easy, human, real. And when she left, she gave me a fist bump and said, "You're weird." I like that. I didn't ask for her number. She gave it to me anyway. Said, "Text me next time your robot demon machine eats a quarter." Not dating yet. Not rushing it. But maybe some. Meanwhile, thrown myself back into restoration full force. Just picked up a 1979 Gorger from a guy on Craigslist. Needed a new power board, rubber kit, and speaker fix. But when I'm under that back glass with a soldering iron in one hand and the manual in the other, I feel grounded, like I'm rebuilding something. Not just the machine. Me. The last thing I did before bed that night was print and frame something. The cake receipt. Happy birthday to me. Enjoy the divorce. Brian the lawyer actually laughed when I told him. That was the most efficient divorce trigger I've ever seen. Guys waste months trying to prove infidelity. You just sent a dessert and bounced. I've got it hanging in the corner of the game room. Small frame. Big meaning. Best $65 I ever spent. I'd always assumed peace would feel like some grand cinematic moment, sunlight breaking through clouds, music swelling, closure crashing over me like a wave. Turns out, it feels more like waking up on a Sunday and realizing you don't have to explain your peace to anyone anymore. N01 asking where you're going. N01 rolling their eyes at the things that bring you joy. N01 erasing your birthday from the calendar. Just freedom. A quiet cup of coffee next to firepower. Humming gently in attract mode. Heaven. Every once in a while, I'd still get the occasional digital tremor. A blocked number calling once and hanging up. A message request on Instagram from someone with a username like Jimangle99. Denied. Deleted. Moved on. Then came the final rip. Marcus, a guy I didn't know, messaged me out of nowhere on Reddit. "Hey man, I think we've been through the same tornado. Mind if I ask you something?" Turns out, he was my ex's ex. The one before me. She pulled the same playbook, he told me. Acted like I was broke the moment I set a boundary. Told her friends I was controlling because I wouldn't buy her a car. Then turned it into a public pity parade. He'd stayed quiet. I hadn't. He called me a legend. I wish I'd had the guts to send her a damn cake. We talked for over an hour. Swapped stories, timelines. Compared red flags like old war medals. The manipulation, the gaslighting, the sudden switch from affection to entitlement. He sent screenshots of old texts where she bragged about securing the bag from guys who didn't know better. "I hope you're healing," he said before logging off. I told him I was. Slowly, but definitely. The next day, I hung a second frame on the wall next to the cake receipt. This one had a message from one of the Venmo commenters who'd seen the whole saga play out online when my story went mini viral. "You didn't lose your marriage. You took your life back." That hit harder than I expected, because that's exactly what it was. I hadn't been divorced, I'd been released. Julia texted that evening, "Hey, arcade boy. I found a 1980 to joust machine for sale. Wanna go check it out?" I smiled, grabbed my keys, and left. This time, no one asked where I was going, and no one was waiting at home to make me regret coming back. It's been 6 months since the cake. 6 months since I typed in my card info and wrote that short, savage message, "Happy birthday" to me. Enjoy the divorce. It wasn't vengeance. Not really. It was clarity. That was the moment I stopped waiting to be chosen, and chose myself instead. Today, I turned 31, and you know what? It's the first birthday in years where I didn't wake up hoping someone remembered me. I remembered me. That was enough. Other threw me a proper party this time. Beer, barbecue, no hotels. The guys brought retro-themed decorations, Pac-Man balloons, a level 31 unlocked cake topper, and a ridiculous t-shirt that says, Pinball Wizard and Certified Divorcee. Julia came too. She showed up with a stack of old GamePro magazines and a bottle of bourbon that tasted like smoke and apology letters. We stayed up until AM battling it out on 8-Ball Deluxe. She almost beat my high score. Almost. After everyone left, I sat in the garage, surrounded by machines that blinked and whirred like they knew what I'd been through. I stood there barefoot on the cold floor, just listening. Thump thump, buzz, click clack. That sound? That's the sound of something still working, still alive, just like me. She never paid the Venmo request, never made good on her apology email, but she did leave behind one final relic, a voicemail. I found it by accident while clearing out saved messages. Her voice was small, measured. No more sobbing, no venom. I know you'll probably delete this. I need you to know I was scared. Of turning 30, of being broke, of feeling like I married someone who had it all figured out while I was still pretending. I thought having control made me strong, but all I did was lose the only person who ever truly had my back. I hope you're happy now. You deserve to be. Didn't delete it, not because I needed it, but because it reminded me who I'm never going to be again. That guy who keeps waiting. That guy who pays for everything and asks for nothing. That guy who gets left behind while someone else parties in hotel rooms on his birthday. No, not anymore. Now, I've got boundaries. I've got a budget. I've got a Gorger machine that's finally back to full health and already has an offer lined up for 6,800. And maybe, just maybe, I've got something starting with Julia. No pressure, no expectations, just pinball, slow dinners, and mutual respect. To anyone reading this who's been called too sensitive, for wanting to feel valued, who's been told they're petty for keeping receipts while their partner keeps secrets, let me tell you something, you're not crazy, you're just done being used. Keep your screenshots, track your spending, protect your peace. Love should never come with an invoice, but if someone turns your kindness into a subscription service, don't be afraid to cancel it. The divorce cost me $8,500. Half my couch, and some friends, I now realize, were never really friends, but I got something better in return. Clarity, control, peace, and the best damn pinball collection on this side of the state line. So, yeah, my 31st birthday, absolutely unforgettable, and this time, the cake was mine.